Good morning 2G. It's 9 a.m. and it's back to English time with Ms.Marianne. Now today our focus will be Unit 8, the mice and the cat. But before we even read the play script, we are going to look at everyday problems. Let us look at everyday problems. Late for school? Yeah, so it's a problem, right? So what do we need to do? How do we solve that? Maybe we wake up early, we pack our things at night so that there's no rush. We leave the house a little early so that we don't get into a traffic jam, and maybe that's how we'll be able to solve that problem. Forgetting our homework, okay? So how do we solve that problem? What we'll do, we'll write our homework, put it in our folder, and put our folders into our school bags so that the next day we won't forget it at home. So those are just one or two of the problems that we faced with every day. Now, how can we approach these problems? So here are some ways for us to approach a problem. Firstly, we can seek help. Right? So we can say, look, Mom, I'm always late for school, so is it okay if we leave a little early? Right? Or we could discuss it with others. You could speak to Mom and you can speak to Dad, speak to your friends. Or you could use common sense. You could think, you know what? I finished my homework, so maybe I need to put it into my folder and then into my school bag. And that would solve a lot of problems, right? Okay. So now we've looked at everyday problems and also ways to approach the problem. So let's start with the mice and the cat. Now before we even read the play script, we have to deal with some vocabulary. There are some words that are unfamiliar, and we need to know these words so that we understand the play script better. All right, so our vocabulary today will be 1, problem, 2, horrible, 3, miserable, 4, sneaks, 5, brilliant, and 6, clever. All right, so okay, let's look at problem. What is a problem? A problem is something that has to be solved. Example, when it is raining and you don't have an umbrella, so we need to solve that, right? It's a problem. Okay, 2, horrible. What is horrible? Horrible is extremely bad, unpleasant. For example, you can make a horrible mistake, something bad, right? Or, the food's horrible. It's unpleasant, it doesn't taste good, right? Let's look at number 3, miserable. Wow, what does miserable mean? Miserable means causing extreme discomfort and unhappiness. Example, miserable weather. It's wet and it's rainy outside. Miserable situation, like we have now. We want to come to school, but we cannot. And miserable childhood. Sometimes you have bad memories, and when you look back at it, it's miserable. You feel miserable. Okay? Number 4, sneaks. What does sneak mean? It means to go somewhere secretly. That means to avoid being seen. So we will read about the mice, the cat that sneaks up and catches the mice so they don't see the cat. He sneaks up secretly. All right? The next word is brilliant. What does brilliant mean? Brilliant means extremely intelligent, or we can say very good, right? So we could talk about a brilliant idea. It was a brilliant show means it was a very good show. Like our graduation shows are brilliant. They are great, right? And then the last word is clever. Clever is another word for smart, is another word for doing something very well, being good at something, being good at math, English, Vietnamese, ICT. You are clever, you are good at something, right? Okay, so let us review our words one more time. Number 1, problem. 2, horrible. 3, miserable. 4, sneaks. 5, brilliant. 6, clever. Right? And now that we know the meaning of the words, we can continue with our play script. Right? The cat and the mice. The mice and the cat. Now, what do you think is the best way to solve a problem? I've mentioned earlier, we could seek help, right? Or we could discuss it with others, or we could use common sense, right? Does it help to discuss the problem with others? Yes, I think so. How about you? All right, so let's listen to the story. The mice were having a meeting. Right now, this is a play script, and in the play script there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters, right? And the characters are mouse 1, mouse 2, mouse 3, we have young mouse, we have old mouse, and we have the narrator, which is the storyteller. All right. Okay, so let's go. The mice were having a meeting. We have to do something about the horrible cat. He has made our lives miserable. He sneaks up and catches us in a flash. What can we do? The mice began to think. No one spoke. No one had any ideas. Finally, a young mouse spoke up. I know what we can do. Tell us your idea, young mouse. The trouble with the cat is that he is so quiet. Let's get a small bell and tie it around the cat's neck. Whenever we hear the bell, we can run for cover. What a brilliant idea! You are so clever, young mouse. An old mouse stood up. He had a question. Which one of us will go to the cat and tie a bell on him? The mice became quiet again. Not one of them wanted to bell the cat. Now, we've read the story, the discussion, the meeting that the mice had. 3 mice, an old mouse, and a young mouse. And they were finding a way to solve the problem because the cat is always catching them. The cat is making their lives miserable. The cat is horrible, right? And then the young mouse had an idea. The young mouse said, because the cat is so quiet, how about tying a bell around the cat's neck? So when they hear the bell, they will be able to run for cover. It's a great idea, but who will bell the cat? Who do you think will bell the cat? All right, so that is our story about the mice and the cat. Now we have a reading comprehension. We need to circle the correct answers, right? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 questions that we need to answer. All right? So, firstly, we need to listen to the story carefully, and then we need to do the reading comprehension. Pages 78 and pages 79 you'll find in our folder. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Until tomorrow, bye.